Hello, Chance Holloway for JFM Consulting. Thank you for taking the time to watch our how-tos. This vid will cover the basics of the antenna and how to work with it. So if you look at the top of the screen, there is a quarter of a circle, a pie shape, V, with bars. That is the antenna. If you click on the antenna, it should give you a list of the antennas, Wi-Fi antennas that are available to you. It might take 30 or 40 seconds when you first turn on the machine, or you wake it up from sleep while it reloads all the software and starts looking for antennas again. You can turn off the antenna from this pull down, and you can turn on the antenna from this pull down, and that can be handy when you're having problems with your Wi-Fi connection. If you just turn it off and turn it back on and let it reconnect, sometimes that'll help. If you hold down the option button when you click, you get a slightly different list. And the slightly different list is handy because what it's telling you is this is the antenna I'm on. This is the local area network, the LAN IP address on the inside of the network that's inside the firewall, the router for the inside the firewall, the security type, the SSID, the channel that it happens to be on and what it's communicating with. The most important thing in here for you while you're working with it is knowing the MAC address of whatever antenna you're talking to, because it gives you the ability to suss out problems and figure out, like let's say you have 3 antennas in your home and you want to figure out which antenna you're connected to at that moment in time. To know how your bandwidth is in that part of the house, you'd need to work with this section. That was the option click on the item. If you want to connect to something, you just drag and drop on it, and it's going to come up and ask you for your username and password, sometimes just the password. If you stick in the password, it is case sensitive. You have to stick in the right password for it to connect. The bars, 4 bars is good and solid. 3 bars is functional, 2 bars is pretty weak, and 1 bar, forget it. You're not getting anything anywhere for any reason. It's just not going to work at 1 bar. There are ways to connect to things that are hidden, but most people don't do it that way, so you don't really need to worry about that. If you need to fix a problem with your antenna, go to the Apple, go to System Preferences, go to Network, and here's where your software for your actual antenna is. And a lot of the times people come in here and it'll say automatic here. And if it says automatic there, you're using the original set of preferences associated. And you don't want to do that for long periods of time. If it's been 6 months or a year, it's probably time to blow them out and reset them because they do become corrupted from time to time. And the way you do that is you click on it and you say Edit Locations. And then you come in here and say plus. And the plus gives you a blank, untitled, and you can title it whatever you want. And you can say done. Now that's not applied yet, that's just renamed. And then you have to go back and find it and say test 1 and say apply. And now we are going for the new set of preferences associated with networking. You can set the service order, which means if Wi-Fi is on but you have Ethernet plugged in, you want Ethernet over Wi-Fi because it's a better connection. So you would drag the load order around using set service order. You can delete a port and then re-add it because it'll be on the list so you can re-add it. You can import configurations from previously saved, or if you're in the environment of an office and they already have it pre-saved for you so you can add it, it'll give you a where to find it window and allow you to connect to it. Virtual interfaces, we're getting a little bit more involved here, but Thunderbolt bridge is I want to go from a computer to a computer using the Thunderbolt port on the side with a Thunderbolt cable to get you from one computer to the other. This is the antenna we're on with Join Network here, and there's this big list here. And I go into different places and I pick up different antennas, and 9 times out of 10 I don't need to keep them under the Advanced button. You can come here and delete these. You can say I don't need that one minus, I don't need that one minus, and you can go through your entire list and clear them out. And this can be set by order, and you can drag the network around and put the one that you want at the top that you always connect to, like in your home. This is also the Wi-Fi address connected for this computer sitting on the bottom up there. And that is also listed, if you need information, under About This Mac, System Report. And then when you come in the System Report, you can come in here to things like the network, and it will tell you the information you're kind of looking for, which is what you're connected with and whether it has an IP address or not, which no IP address means you're not connected. Okay, so this MAC address is the local of the motherboard or NIC card inside this computer. And this is the one we're connected with currently, which is Wi-Fi. And it has an IP address, and it has the server information on it, which is coming from your router. And the domain server's name is down here. That has to be in it. If it's DHCP, this is all filled out for you. If you're doing it manually, you need to know what the IP series is. You need to know what the subnet mask is. And you need to know what cluster you're on. Like, let's say you want to put a static IP address in it. A static IP means it never changes. DHCP won't mess with it. It's always the same IP address. But your network admin has to know about that, and you have to confer about that, whether if it's your home stuff, you need to know how to set it. And if you're in a corporate environment, they need to tell you what you can or cannot use in terms of an IP address. But that's where it is. It's hidden under there. So here we have full information about the wireless configuration going on and Wi-Fi devices that it sees to connect to. Most of these are neighbors and out of range. They're not something you're going to want to connect to. Anyways, lots of this stuff is overkill. You don't really need to know it, but this is where you get to it if somebody asks you how to get to it. We'll come back and touch on the system information at other times, but that's the easiest way to figure out what antennas you're working with and how to reset the order of the load for them and how to pick the one you want and make sure it becomes unlocked, and how to reset the preferences if the preference fails. Pretty much the way you know the preference has failed is if you keep trying to connect and it's just not working, or it's really, really slow. First suggestion, unplug your modem and your router and restart them. That doesn't work, restart your computer. That doesn't work, depending on the environment you're on. Again, because you can't restart your router if you're in a corporate environment, talk to your network administrator or call your ISP, your internet service provider. Most of the time, it's their end, and they will argue to death that it's not. That's why you ask them to do a ping test, P-I-N-G. Anyways, that's how you connect to an antenna. That's how you release an antenna. That's how you turn off an antenna. By the way, if you're trying to conserve your battery and you are anywhere in the world that you don't need to be immediately connected to a Wi-Fi, turn off your antenna. It saves battery. Same thing with Bluetooth. If you're not using Bluetooth, turn off your Bluetooth, because Bluetooth also uses your battery when it keeps the antennas on. So you can come in and turn off your Bluetooth, and you can, if you're not using a mouse or a keyboard connected to it, and you can turn off your antenna and save your battery time. And it actually will save a fair amount by disconnecting from the two of them. So that is the essence of connecting to your antenna. It helps that you know what the name of the antenna is you're trying to connect to, and the username or password as mandated by the environment you're in. We hope you found this information helpful. Please give us a thumbs up and share with your family and friends. Also, please send us an email to the email below so we can add you to our mailing list of new videos. Chance Holloway for JFM Consulting.